Hey there, everybody. How is everybody today? Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me out there? Could someone give me a yay or a nay that they can hear me out there in YouTube land? Yep. Okay, good deal. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, what's that? Sorrenti? Hey, Grizz. Hey, T. Castle Dove, Tex Bombing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys all coming over and watching. Hello, Amy. How is everybody down there in the lower 48? It has been a little bit chilly up here in the Great White North. We got some snow on, just a little bit. We had a couple inches, but typical for Alaska, we had that snow, and we still have that snow. It's on the ground and it's not going anywhere. It'll still be here come April, I imagine, unless we get some warmer weather, but probably not going to. Hey, BTL, how you doing? Grizz 1. Okay, 1. Temperature-wise, we had 0 degrees. We had no temperature this morning. When I got up around 5:30 this morning, it was 0 degrees outside. And right now, it's warmed up quite a bit. It's 29 outside. Nice, warm 29 outside. T-shirt weather for us up here in Alaska. So, works pretty good. Teresa's doing fall cleaning. Yeah, I much prefer fall cleaning over spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is too much of a time to rejoice and go out and enjoy the weather. Fall time is a much more appropriate time of year to be cleaning the inside of the cabin that you're about to get stuck into for the rest of the winter. 1 means yes or hearing loud and clear. 2 is no. Copy that, Grizz. 0, awesome. 29, almost balmy. Hello from Massachusetts. Cool. Other side of the country. Very cool. Amy talking about Lily. Yeah, she is something else, isn't she? I was chatting with one of the people that commented on the videos. I should have named her Tigger, like as in Winnie the Pooh, because she's got springs in her legs. She doesn't walk anywhere. She just bounces boing, boing, boing every place we go. She's been doing that since she was first born. She's just about a year old now. Actually, she is a year old. She was born 2nd week of October. So, yeah, she's just had her birthday, I guess. Hello, Texas. Yeah, see, Grizz, I agree with Teresa. That's what I thought 1 and 2 was referring to. Don't ask about 3. Hey, Kitty, how are you doing, darling? Yes, Rhonda, Tiggers bounce, and that is what Lily does. She just bounces and bounces and bounces and bounces. And you're right, T, I would miss her a whole bunch if she wasn't here. She is a huge pain in my butt, but I love her dearly. She just is with me all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Her top is made out of rubber, her bottom is made out of springs. Pretty much it. Well, you guys have seen in the video, that's all she does. Wherever we're walking, she's either doing what I call the boot scoot and boogie, which means she drops her butt and runs around in circles, or she bounces everywhere. Hello, North Carolina. Welcome, Annette. How are you doing? Chris, you're funny. Anyhow, let me go ahead and get to the live stream. Got a couple interesting things to talk about today. Hey, Woody. How you doing, buddy? Hey, B. Nice to see you there, Mark. Tenexico. Hola, mi amigo. ¿Qué pasó? Anyhow, moving along. First, medical update. Shoulder's doing much better. A lot of people have been asking me this week. I am getting better range of motion. I still keep doing stupid things and hurting it a little bit, but other than that, it's coming along quite fine. I should be another 100%, probably another week or 2 or 3. Anyhow, it's getting. I still can't sleep on it, but it's getting much better. The videos that I put out this week, I did a couple trail cam videos. One with just had some coyotes in it and rabbits. We have a lot of rabbits. Man, we have a lot of rabbits. Probably why we have so many coyotes, because we have a lot of rabbits. And so I had the trail cams out. I did a video where I mailed the bacon finally. Rhonda Frayne, who's on here, saying it's 61 in Central Ohio. Rhonda won the bacon, and it should be there Monday or Tuesday, according to the tracking. It should be getting pretty close to her, so she'll have some good bacon for Wednesday morning anyway, if at the latest. Had a trail cam video of the moose and coyotes. I was really happy to see that bull moose. What's surprising is that he was legal. He's a legal moose. In Alaska, they have to be 50 inches wide, which is really, really big, or they have to have 3 brow tines, which are the front of the antler sticking up. And he has the 3 brow tines. He didn't have the width, but he had the 3 brow tines, making him a legal bull. So he could have been harvested this year, but he wasn't. The video we shot of him was on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of October. And if you're interested, you can go back and watch the video. It's still there on YouTube. But anyhow, it was fun seeing that he survived and he's still stomping around back there. Now, I did go check the trail cams today, and I had nothing on the trail cams but me and the dog. So didn't record anything the last 48 hours or so. Well, some rabbits again, but only at night, and so all you see is the eyeballs bouncing around in the dark. If I can get some good footage of the rabbits, I'll put it up so you guys can see them. Rabbits are changing colors up here this time of year. We have rabbits that are brown in the summertime and they turn white in the wintertime. The snowshoe hares. And they're a big rabbit. They're a really big sized rabbit. So, okay. So those were the videos that we put together. Oh, and then I did a video of me and Lily going for a walk. I was actually playing with the drone, trying to teach the drone or teach myself how to use the drone to follow me. One of the reasons I bought it was so that it could be a cameraman for me, if you will, and it would follow me while I'm walking or doing something. And unfortunately, I'm having difficulty getting it to do that. It follows behind me, but I can't get it to be in front of me where I can get a decent shot at it. What he says, as opposed to an illegal Mexican moose. I didn't know they had Mexican moose, but we do have illegal Mexicans. And actually, it's kind of surprising. Alaska has Mexican street gangs in Anchorage, Alaska. We actually have Mexican gangs activity in Anchorage, Alaska. Why Mexicans would come this far north and suffer the cold, I don't know. But we actually have Mexican street gangs up here. I think it's hysterical. Had a shooting not that long ago. Okay, so that kind of sums up the videos I did this week. I did not do very many videos. I apologize for that, but with my shoulder being messed up, fact is, I've not done much of anything. I have watched a lot of TV this week and chatted with friends. Really didn't accomplish very much at all. I've been laying low and resting up the shoulder. Some interesting things. I have a little 1500 watt electric heater. It's just a little cubicle thing that I actually had for my boat, and I've heated my cabin this whole past week with just that little electric heater. And contacted the electric company and timed the heater, and it cost me about $80 a month to heat my cabin with just that little electric heater. So I was glad that it was here and the temperature stayed warm enough that it could keep up. I don't think if we got really cold it would be able to. In fact, I've got a fire going in the wood stove right now. Very difficult to split wood. That chopping motion is a motion that really hurts the shoulder. Pulling the cord on the chainsaw is something I can't do yet with the shoulder. So taking the firewood that I have and or making more and splitting it is not on the menu for right now. So I cannot swing an axe with my left hand to save my butt. So I'm not even going to try. But I do have firewood, and I do have some stuff I can use, and I can get it in there. And so, like I said, I have a fire going today. So let's see. Is it dangerous to shoot a Mexican? Their diet is beans. They might blow up. Yep, Grizz, that's probably true. Yes, good thing I have wood stove. Okay. I did have a really sad note this week. Had something really bad happen this week. And Teresa, gasoline log splitters don't work well up here in Alaska. I'll get into that when we're talking about dry cabin later. But it's so cold up here they won't start. I do have an electric log splitter that I keep inside the cabin. It's a very small one, but my shoulder's not strong enough to pull it out to set it up. So it's doing me no good whatsoever. Anyhow, here's the sad news. Grandpa wrecked the drone. It was, I was working with a customer, a real estate customer, and I was out shooting some video footage of their property for marketing. And a gust of wind took it a couple feet off the trail I was on, and it hit a tree, and it busted that part there. I don't know if you can see it. You see how there's only one piece here? There's supposed to be three of these. See how that one is? There's three plastic things on it. This one only has one plastic thing on it. That's the part that broke. And of course I lost a set of blades, but I've got plenty of blades. How these work is this just sort of pops on. That just pops on and twists, and it attaches like that. It attaches really easy. Well, here's the thing. In the infinite wisdom of DJI Phantom Drone World, I cannot buy just these little plastic pieces that are held on by 3 screws. I have to replace the entire motor here on top. Which, sounds reasonable, In fact, I got online and I looked for them, and they're really cheap. They're only 18 to 22 bucks. They're really inexpensive to buy the motors. So not a problem. And I'm an Amazon Prime customer, so I figure, well, I'll just order one and have it shipped to me, right? Wrong. Apparently all the vendors that supply those parts to the Amazon do not participate in the free shipping program. And in fact, to order the little $18 motor, they wanted $97 in shipping and handling. I kid you not, $97. This motor weighs maybe an ounce. You could put it in a first class envelope for 1 stamp or 2 stamps worth of postage, and it would make it up here. And they want to charge $97 for the damn shipping and handling. I was furious. So I don't know if my son's on here or if he's even going to get on here. I think he's mad at me, actually. I don't know why, but apparently I did something wrong. So I'm going to see if he can find one down there in Ohio someplace and maybe just ship it up to me. I really don't need the motor. I just need the little plastic tabs that screw on there. And unfortunately, I don't know what happened to the tabs. Actually, I had a hard enough time finding the drone. You ever try finding a white drone in snow? Wasn't easy. So those little pieces that broke off, I have no idea where they are. There's no way I can find them. Otherwise, I'd have crazy glued them back on or done something like that. But I don't think that would have held with those, spinning at high speed and taking that up. So, yeah, Teresa, they wanted $97 just in shipping and handling. So I'm going to see if my son can pick one up and send it up to me. Maybe that'll help. But so Grandpa's a little bummed that my toy is broken. I broke my toy, but it's all right. I'll get it fixed. It was just a motor. It could have been a lot worse. Actually, the thing that upset me about it, that really made me angry, is I had a lot of really good footage on the card. It has a little card. See that little slot there? In there's a little tiny micro card, and that's what it stores all of the footage that the camera shoots. And so I wanted to download the footage, but I guess when it hit the tree and was falling, the battery got popped out of it before the onboard computer could save the footage to the chip, and so it was all lost. So I won't get any of that stuff back. Yeah, I can't just glue them on. It takes a special kind of attachment. It's not something that I could just glue on. If I could glue it on, I would have, but not going to happen. So yeah, Teresa, it's just the micro SD cards is what it is. Buy a 3D printer and make my own. There's an idea. There's an idea that might work. Sorry about the snoring noise you hear in the background. Lily is underneath the table here snoring away, and I'm just gonna let her snore. So anyhow, yeah, I was really disappointed with Amazon Prime. I would have thought, that's the whole deal. You're paying them, I don't know, what was it, $97 or something a year to participate with Amazon Prime and get the free shipping. I don't understand. And it was almost the same price for the shipping. Some places had it cheaper. Other places were like $60 or $35 for shipping. But as an Amazon Prime person, I should get it for free shipping. That's kind of was the whole idea of that. So anyhow, we'll see. Hey, Kathleen, hello. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Have I tried eBay? That's an interesting question. No, I've not tried eBay. I should do that. eBay. I'll make a note of that. I never even thought of going to eBay for something like that. Very good suggestion. Thank you, Texabaman. I'm not going to try that. Texabaman. Yeah, I'll have to definitely try that. Kathleen, I'm glad you're here on the chat. I've gotten your emails. I just haven't responded to them yet. I would say I've been busy, but I've just been working on a project that's been taking up a lot of my time, and I just haven't responded to them yet. I don't know about you guys, but when somebody emails me something, I find it's really smart for me just to sleep on it and think about it for a day or two before I respond to it. It just seems like it makes a lot of sense to do that. So, and Kathleen, I'm going to ask you, and by Kathleen I mean Terillian Rhea, if you could message me your address. I had your address off the shipping label from the box you sent me, and I had that loaded in my old phone. But when I broke my shoulder and drowned my cell phone, I lost that contact. So if you could email that to me, I would appreciate it. I had it right the first time. Texabaman. Okay. Good to know. eBay has this part for $24.95 with free shipping. There you go, Amy. All right, cool. I'll get on eBay and do that. Awesome. That's a whole lot better than spending $97 in shipping. That was just ridiculous. So, okay, so what we were going to talk about today, try looking for someone who may have some parts such as a drone club. Yeah, that might be an idea. I bought a smoker that looks like Grandpa's, so now we have to learn how to... Oh, Gabby, you bought a smoker just like mine? I was looking at some old video footage that I have from the TV show I used to do on Versus Network, Travelers in Paradise. You can look up those episodes on YouTube if you want to see them, Travelers in Paradise. And in the episodes, I did some cooking demonstrations or cooking segments in that show. And I was using the same grill that I have here, I used back then. So I've had that grill a long time. And really, I've been really abusive to it. Aside from, sanding down the wood pieces on the front, I really haven't done anything to that grill at all over the years. And it's still holding together and doing really good. So you might really enjoy that. I would suggest seasoning it a lot. Build a lot of fires in it and get it good and smoked up inside. So it works really well. It takes a little time to figure out the airflow and stuff to control it, but it works really well. So that's right, Rhonda. With age, everything gets better with age. I am getting to be excellent. You watched me cook on 2 of the videos, the Travelers in Paradise videos or my Grandpa's Farm videos, because I've done cooking on both of those now. Yeah, I'm not much into the electric smokers. I don't like using the the chemical treated stuff. I just like using a natural charcoal. Kingsford makes a good charcoal. But hey, Danny, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Head desk. Not sure what you mean by head desk, but okay. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get to the subject matter in hand. I wanted to talk a little bit about dry cabins. I've had some people ask some questions and make some statements about dry cabins, so I thought it was time for a little definition time so you guys would have a better understanding of what a dry cabin is. Because, of course, I guess it's different things to different people. Up here in Alaska, as a real estate broker, a dry cabin is a cabin that does not have water plumbed into it. So that's what my cabin is. I tried smoking charcoal, tasted like shit, made me cough. Ha ha ha, Grizz, you got blocked by my channel blacklist because you can't say SHIT on here. I know, it's stupid, but it is what it is. That's the YouTube rules. That's one of the heavy 7 words never to be said or used on television, although I just said it, right? So, sorry about that. Do as I say and not as I do. Anyhow, dry cabin. So a dry cabin means that we have no plumbing into the house. I don't have a sink. I don't have a shower. I don't have a toilet. I don't have a washer and dryer. I don't have anything that would use water. Now, the property that I own, my 80 acres up here, I do have a good well, a good regular house well with a pump down the bottom of the well. And I do have a cuss jar. That's a good idea, Gabby. I need a cuss jar. I'd be a millionaire if I did that. I do have a septic system in place. This property used to have a house on it, and the house burnt down. And so we have the well and the septic system from having had the house here. And so I could hook those into this cabin. I just have not done it as yet. I was planning on putting an addition on the front of the cabin, and then putting a kitchen and bathroom addition on the front and running everything into there. So I may or may not do that. It depends on, well, there's a lot of variables going on in my life right now that make it difficult for me to really make any concrete long-term plans. What I'm referring to is the fact that I'm in the middle of a divorce, and until the divorce is final, I don't know where I'm going to go from here. Drop 2 bits in every time you drop an F-bomb. I don't drop F-bombs very much. This is not my thing. So, and yes, Mark, grandpas do poop in the woods. See, I can say poop. Isn't that ridiculous? I can say poop, but not SHIT. So it's just a word, people. It's just a word. It doesn't really do anything. It's just a word. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's just a word. Tell me how you keep your animals' water dishes from freezing. I don't. I let them freeze. We use these heavy duty rubber dishes. They're very flexible. Even at minus 30, the rubber dishes are still flexible. So we put the water in them, they drink, and then when I go to water, I turn them over, knock the ice out of them, and then put fresh water in. We don't stop them from freezing. It's a waste of time. There's no way you can stop that. So we have to water 2 times, sometimes 3 times a day when it's really cold out to keep water in front of everybody or available to them. But you can't, you'd go broke up here trying to run electricity. Our electric is 18 cents a kilowatt hour up here. 18 cents a kilowatt hour. So I'm not going to put a 1500 watt heater under a water bucket to keep it from freezing. We just use the rubber dishes. They freeze. We dump them. We put fresh water in them. An hour later, they're frozen. We dump them. We put fresh water in them. It's just something that you just stay after. We usually are okay giving them water twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and they tend to be fine with that. It doesn't freeze up immediately. It takes a while for it to freeze, but it works just fine. Other than that, the only animals I'm really going to be wintering over this winter is going to be my chickens, and I will put a heat lamp in there when we get really cold. It's not really cold right now. Actually, I have it all wired for a heat lamp in there. I just have to plug the heat lamp in and turn it on. But I won't do that until it starts getting really cold. I don't want them to start getting acclimated to that. Have you ever thought about getting a goat? They can provide milk and make some cheese. Sorrenti, we used to have goats here. In fact, when my wife and daughter were here, we had goats and we had a lot of goat milk and we made goat milk soaps and we sold a bunch of goat milk soaps here in Alaska under the name of the Alaska Garden Goat Company. When we were in Montana, they had these land and cattle companies. Everybody, they thought that was the thing to name the XYZ Land and Cattle Company. Well, we thought it was funny, so when we got up here, we had the Yard and Goat Company. I thought that was funny, but I'm a weird person, so you're welcome. You're welcome, Kathleen. So going back to dry cabin. Okay, so I don't have any water plumbed into the cabin. If I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go outside to an outhouse or, hang 10 in the wind. If I have to take a shower, I drive over to a local gas station that's actually like a little mini truck stop, and they actually have really nice showers and plenty of hot water. And for $4, I can go over there and take a shower. So it really unmotivates me to worry too much about it. I just run over there and take a shower when I need it. I don't take a shower obviously every day, as I probably would if I had a shower right here at the house. But every couple of 3 days we go over and take a shower. It's really not a big deal, and it makes life easy. The problem for me, the thing that bothers me the most is I got to go to the well, fill jugs, and bring the jugs into the cabin, and then I got to fill a canning pot with water. I have two of them, one for wash water and one for rinse water. And then I got to wash everything inside those basins and then carry them outside and dump them. I don't have a sink or a drain type setup in here, and I probably should do that. But again, I'm in a 16-foot by 16-foot cabin, so what would normally be a room in your house is my entire house. So it's crowded. I have way too much stuff in here. In fact, I recently sold my sailboat and don't have my storage unit outside built yet. And so everything came into the cabin that couldn't freeze. And so I've got stuff just piled up in here right now. It's not cooperative or conducive to quality of life at the moment. But as soon as my shoulder gets better and I can finish the building, get the roof on it, then this stuff will move out and I'll have some more room. But for the time being, it's uncomfortable living because I'm just packed in here. Other than that, though, the cabin's really nice. I have a small wood stove in here that makes it too hot, actually. It runs me out of here. So I'm plenty warm all winter long. In fact, being a small cabin, I only burn about a quart of wood a winter. And I've got about 2.5 cords of firewood outside, so I'm good for a while. So anyhow, it's just the way it is. That's the way you get accustomed to that lifestyle of not having water in there, and it's really not all that difficult. I got an old fart hospital popper. I used the emergencies, used it on a sailboat because someone removed the head, used cat litter and grocery bags. Oh yeah, you could do that, but I don't like having the smell in the cabin, so I don't do that. I go to the outhouse. It's only about 40 feet over the side here, 50 feet off to the side, and it's fine. Do you use solar with a grid tie inverter or wind power? Sixabaman, I do not. I'm on the grid, and I should at 18 cents a kilowatt hour probably do something more with doing more of a grid tie, and that's what I would do if I was going to do it up here. I would do a grid tie solar system. The problem is in here in the wintertime is when we use most electricity and it's dark. It gets dark a lot and stays dark a lot up here in the wintertime. We only have about 7 hours of daylight in the wintertime, so it's not a good use of that here in the wintertime, but in the summertime we have 24-hour daylight. So we would generate a lot with solar. I had solar on my sailboat, and I really liked that. I have terrible OCD. If things do not have a home or a place and looks lined up and in order, I would go psychotic. Yeah, Teresa, I'm usually the same way, and it bothers me that my cabin is the way it is, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So, state of Georgia once gave me an 8x12 cabin free. That's cool, Woody. That's cool. 8x10, yeah, nice. Someone who understands me. Yeah, there's a lot of OCD people. I've always been that way. I've always been, everything's got a place, everything's got to be in its place, I had little bins everywhere for all the different stuff, had everything sorted out. Very much that way, but sometimes in life you got to make some adjustments and make some changes. So, and talk about changes, I did announce this week a bit of a change in the lineup for the channel, Grandpa's Farm. I really can't do much in the way of farming here in the wintertime. Ground's frozen, covered in snow. I'm processing the animals. I'll be doing some videos about that here pretty soon, but then that'll be it till spring. There won't be anything exciting except snow blowing going on and shoveling. So there's really not much in the way of farming. I do plan on doing some other kind of adventure kind of stuff and bringing you guys along for it. And so I figured we should really change it to Grandpa's Farm to Grandpa's Farm and Adventures, just to open the door for some other possibilities. Well, do what you can do. Don't worry about what you can't do. That's true. That's true, T. That's right. Have I thought about a greenhouse? Yes, Sorrenti, actually, what I was planning on doing, where the old house foundation sits on this property, I was going to make some small changes to that. That foundation is 4 feet below ground, almost 5 feet, but 4 feet below ground and 4 feet above ground. I was going to cut everything off at ground level or just a little bit above ground level and build a greenhouse on top of that. So the greenhouse would be somewhat submerged and somewhat above ground. And that would give me good thermal use for it. It's already got an itch. There. Oh, Beth, my grandma used to call them all dust collectors. She didn't want no dust collectors. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, dust collectors, stuff out and around that's collecting dust. I get it. Okay. Okay. Or whatnots, per country folks say. Yeah, there you go. Just stuff. Just stuff. I mean, look at the shelves behind me. It's all full of stuff. Do I really need all this stuff? Hell no. I don't know. And that reminds me, I wanted to bring up something else that happened. And this is a little bit about kind of where I'm at. Not homestead related, but just, dealing with what you got to deal with in life. Through YouTube, through this channel, I have had the opportunity to meet a lot of you folks out there. Teresa, I met Teresa and Kathleen and Rhonda, and, I've gotten to know some folks. And it's really helped me reevaluate and recharge and kind of get back on my feet mentally as far as putting myself in the right position to go forward. Talking to my first ex-wife, Johanna. I don't know if she's on here tonight. She sometimes gets on. She probably forgot tonight, but talking to my wife, Johanna, and she reminded me that even when she and I first got married, I always talked about buying a sailboat and sailing around the world. It was a dream of mine. And the entire time I was married to her, it was never going to be a possibility. When I was married to my second wife, Penny, for the last decade, I really pushed to make that a reality, to buy a sailboat and sail around the world. And it's been a passion and a dream of mine. I've always kind of thought of myself as a, sort of a Jacques Cousteau kind of person. I mean, I even people tell me I even look like a ship's captain a little bit. So it's always been my passion. It's always been something that I wanted to do. But with the, family requirements and what have you, I kind of put it on a back burner and, you must expect me. I kind of went on to a back burner and, I put away my dream. I wasn't even thinking about doing that. In fact, I bought a sailboat and had it this past summer. I'm going to put some more footage of that up on my YouTube channel so you guys can see some of that stuff. It was not the right boat for what I'm planning on doing. It was too small and didn't have the right equipment on it. But after meeting some of you folks and getting my dream back, I'm kind of getting my dream back. I kind of like the idea of buying a really well set up sailboat and sailing around the world. A lot of the folks that listen to me here on YouTube, a lot of you guys in the chat here are interested because I leave an alternative lifestyle, something a little different than probably what you're accustomed to. And as another alternative lifestyle, living on a sailboat, and Woody says selling away cheaper than divorce. The problem is, Woody, I can't sell the property here. The court ordered that I can't sell the property until the divorce is final and it's dealt with as part of that. So, but anyhow, so I'm really thinking about buying a sailboat again. I don't know what's going on with my kids and their kids. I don't know what's going on with Johanna, my first ex-wife. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I can't really make any solid decisions, but I do know I still want to do that. And that's cool. That's really cool that I want to do that I am motivated again and can start thinking about putting plans and things in action to go forward to that and start thinking about doing that for a living. So you're right, Danny. There would not be any chickens on the sailboat. I could have ducks, however. Might be able to have a duck or two on the sailboat for layers. Always a possibility. There's a lot of people, a lot of pirates have the parrot up on their shoulder. I could just have a duck on my shoulder. As long as I have a couple laying female hens, and maybe I keep myself in duck eggs. But so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. No, Teresa, I would not be buying a yacht. I would be buying a serviceable sailboat. Not an expensive, I'm not talking about $100,000 plus luxury boat. I'm talking about a good working sailboat that I could live on and sail around as it was. Gabby says, I saw a video where the chicken sailed in your area. Okay. You could have a chicken. I would not want to have a chicken on a sailboat, but sailboats are dangerous. Sailboats are not dangerous. Teresa, I would rather sail a sailboat from here to New York than drive to New York or Tennessee. I would much rather be in a sailboat sailing there than driving there. It'd be a lot safer. You just need to know what you're doing, and you just got to watch the weather and pick your times. So the seas are a whole lot safer than the highways, folks. A whole lot higher. Something like you had, but more fuel storage. Yes, something like what I had, but with more everything. The 30-foot boat was too small. 31-foot boat was too small. I need something more in the 40-foot range with accommodations for more than just me. So 2 cabins where I could have guests on board. And so it's just something to think about. Hey, GMC06, welcome. How you doing, Cynthia? Popeye the chicken. There you go, Popeye the chicken. We could do that. Well, see, that's the thing, Teresa. A lot of people don't understand sailing, and so you're always naturally afraid of what you don't know. Once you get to know something, you were probably afraid of cars until you got to know cars. Although you probably grew up with cars, so it probably wasn't such a big deal. But It's like anything else. Once you learn about them, you find out that they're really not that much more dangerous. Motorboats, yes, Gabby, you're right. Motorboats are way more dangerous because they go very fast. Sailboats don't go fast. Well, at least any sailboat that I would be sailing would not. I mean, we're talking about sailing around the world at a speed of 6 knots. 6 knots is about 7 miles an hour, maybe 7.5. Even if I crashed into something at 7 miles an hour, it's not going to do that much damage. I'm not going to go flying through the windshield and end out on the pavement, not at 7 miles an hour. So it's just sort of a different lifestyle. It's a lot of people retire and drive an RV. They'll buy a recreational vehicle and drive an RV around the United States, and that's fine. But you're limited to the roads, and you're limited then to where you can drive to. Canada, North America, basically. You can't even, well, you can do North America and some of Central America, but you couldn't drive to South America without having to put it onto a ship to get it around the corner. So let's see. I'd be afraid of whales. Actually, Kathleen, Tex Aberman has the right idea. The thing that I would be the most concerned about while out sailing is, in fact, whales. I'll tell you an interesting story. I chartered a catamaran sailboat, really nice, Lagoon 440, a $750,000 sailboat I chartered in the British Virgin Islands a few years ago. And my wife and I, if you watch the Travelers in Paradise episodes here on YouTube, you'll see what I'm talking about. And we were sailing off the south side. We were out fishing out off the drop on the south side of the BVI. And while fishing out there, we were in really deep water, thousands of feet deep water. So it was plenty deep enough that we should never have had an issue with the bottom. And all of a sudden, I'm watching the depth finder, and the depth finder is saying 100 feet of water. It's like, that can't be possible. I looked at the chart again. The chart says we're in like 3,000 feet of water. It's saying we're in 100 feet of water. Then it was 80 feet of water, 70 feet of water, 60 feet of water, 50 feet of water. It was like we were driving up on a shoal. The depth kept coming up, 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 and up, and up, and up. And I was thinking, man, I need to kick back these throttles. We're going to run aground or something. Maybe there was an uncharted coral reef or something, but that is ridiculous. This is one of the top cruising areas in the world. If there was a shallow area, it would be on the maps. And then it started dropping back down again and going deeper. I'm like, okay, well, then that's over with. About 2 minutes later, a big whale jumped right alongside of our sailboat. Just came up out of the water, rolled, and splashed back into the water just not more than 20 feet off the side of our sailboat. So what it was the fish finder, the depth finder, was pinging on the back of the whale. It wasn't the bottom of the ocean that it was hitting. It was hitting the whale. That's why the depth was coming up, because the whale was getting closer and closer to the bottom of the boat. What happens, and what's dangerous with whales, is sailboats, the hulls are very strong, but the rudder in the back can be very weak. And if a whale comes up and makes contact with that rudder, it can cause a leak in the boat. And that would be a problem. So, would you still be doing YouTube? Yes, American Liberty Fighters, absolutely. That would be the idea, would be to go start doing some, you're never too old for anything, I guess. No, and that you're not. Yeah, I don't care if I'm 90 years old. It's still time to go out for an adventure. If I can walk, I'm going to go out and do something. It's all right, Kathleen. Yeah, whales are, excuse me, I just belched. Sorry about that. Whales are, in fact, the biggest concern that I would have out there would be running into a pod of whales, especially a mama defending her calf. To me, that would be as dangerous as being up in the woods here with a mama grizzly bear, but, getting between a mama grizzly bear and a cub. There's a lot of reported times where whales have hit sailboats and caused them to sink. Now, if you're smart, on your sailboat, you have a dinghy, which is a small inflatable boat that you use to get on and off your boat, and then you also have a life raft. So you have provisions for that. You plan ahead for that, and you can make it through that. But yes, American Liberty Fighters, I would absolutely be doing videos while doing that. In fact, if I've sparked an interest in any of you guys, I'll ask you to get online and go to YouTube, which you're on already. When we get done here, go check out Sailing La Vagabond, L-A and then V-A-G-A-B-O-N-D-E, Sailing La Vagabond, and it's about an Australian couple that are sailing around the world. They make videos and they post them on YouTube. There's also another one called SV, as in sailing vessel, SV Delos, D-E-L-O-S. That one's a bit risque. On SV Delos, there's a lot of nudity involved. So now watch, all the guys immediately run over and go watch that, and so much for my live stream this evening. But no, they don't actually show anything. They pixelate, but the girls tend to walk around topless on the boat. And hey, if you're out in the middle of the ocean and it's 90 degrees out there, if I was a girl, I'd be topless too. You know, it's just too hot. So you do what you need to do to be careful and be comfortable. In any event, it's a different lifestyle than what anybody else is normally accustomed to. With today's technology, however, with satellite navigation and GPSs, it's really a very safe way to travel. Gabby, you want me to swing by and pick you up and sail the world? Well, I'm going to need some crew. I'm definitely looking for crew. So I would like to have one or two other people go with me. I don't want to go solo. And that was the thing that really bummed me out with the divorce, is because it was my wife Penny that I really wanted to sail around the world and have her watch and see it. And now she's not going to be able to do that. So my husband kept tossing me a towel and told me to cover up. Well, that's his problem and not yours, Gabby. So gonna need motion sickness meds. Actually, Teresa, I don't get motion sickness on a boat. I used to when I was a kid. I don't anymore. I'll tell you a little secret. If you're going to get motion sickness, eat chocolate. Eat copious amounts of chocolate. You ask why chocolate? Because it tastes good going down and it tastes good coming back up. So eat chocolate. Although it's kind of expensive to eat that and throw it back over the rail. But, you know, you got to chum for the bait. You know, you got to put bait out there, chum for the fish so you can do some fishing. So it all works. Woody says, I'm a blind navigator. Okay. I think your M's hitting N's, or your N's hitting M's, but I get it. Hey, the technology that you have today, it's really easy to navigate. You might enjoy watching The Real Wayne's World on YouTube if you like sailing. You mean the movie Wayne's World? Or is there a YouTuber, The Real Wayne's World on YouTube? I'll check that out. I may not have seen it. There is a bunch of people doing videos and posting them on YouTube that are in that sailing. It's called cruising is what the title is. I got into it many, many years ago. One of my first girlfriends had a Sunfish sailboat, and she took me out in the Manhasset Bay there in Port Washington, New York, and we went sailing out in the bay, and I really enjoyed being out on the sailboat with her. And you know, you've got a boat and you've got a pole and you've got a bed sheet basically stretched between a couple pieces of pipe, and by pulling on the various ropes you can harness the wind and away you go. And you know, talk about low carbon footprint and talk about not leaving an impact. That's the thing that is really interesting. Are you religious? And if so, what is your faith? Franco, I am a non-congregational Methodist. That's the best way I'll describe myself. I believe in God. I grew up as a Methodist, but I no longer believe in congregational worship. Tired of too many Friday night sinners being Sunday morning Christians. So I don't go to church anymore, but I do believe in God. In any event, there's a lot of these people that have this lifestyle that sail around the world and enjoy it, and it can be done safely and it can be done with a lot of fun. And you get to see the world, you get to travel. You get to do so in a really small carbon footprint. Sailboat is powered by the wind for the most part. You do have a small diesel engine, so you do burn a little bit of diesel fuel. But my sailboat would burn, well, even the sailboat I just sold this spring, I would put in 10 gallons of diesel fuel and I could motor nonstop for 3 days on that 10 gallons of fuel. So 72 hours, I could run that boat for 72 hours on about 10 gallons of fuel. And you don't need to. You only use the fuel for while you're docking in and around the marina. Once you get out in the bay where the breeze is blowing, you run the sails up and away you go. You can sail around the world in a sailboat and hardly use any fuel whatsoever. Now, you do use a little propane for cooking. You have solar panels on the boat that are recharging batteries that run all the systems and the refrigeration. So there's really a real interesting way of living with a really tiny carbon footprint by being on a sailboat. You're almost completely autonomous with it. Come sail to Boston, we can meet there. Serenity, I have sailed not into Boston, Martha's Vineyard, if you're familiar with Martha's Vineyard. I used to live on Long Island. I grew up on Long Island, and we would sail over to Martha's Vineyard and back sometimes. So I know that area a little bit, not very much. And I don't like the water up there that far north, just like I didn't like the water here in Alaska. The water's too cold. I want to get down the tropics where I can do a lot of scuba diving. I am an advanced open water certified scuba diver. So I want to get someplace where I can do some scuba diving. Beth, the channels you want to look at that I like, some of the channels that I like are Sailing La Vagabond. So the word sailing and then LAVAGABONDE, Sailing La Vagabond, and also S/V or SV Delos, DELOS. Those are two of my favorite ones, and from there, there's just a plethora of other ones on there. Sailing La Vagabond's a really nice couple, really good kids. He worked hard and bought an inexpensive sailboat. Yes, except with an E on the end, Rhonda. La Vagabond with an E. Anyhow, so you live near Cape Cod? Yeah, Martha's Vineyard is great. It's a beautiful area. And yes, SV Delos. Very good. Thank you, Rhonda. Well, you know what, Rhonda? I'm going to make you a moderator. Set user as moderator. There. Rhonda's got a wrench, guys. Watch out. Rhonda is now a moderator. There you go. Sailing La Vagabond. And you have to have the sailing in there, although I'm sure you'll find it if you just type in La Vagabond. Now, the SV Delos, be forewarned that there's a lot of women walking around deck without tops on. So you'll see a lot of nudity. You won't actually see any nudity. They pixelate it so you can't see anything. But nonetheless, it's on there. And they're very entertaining. The La Vagabond people are, let's see, where are they now? They're in like French Polynesia somewhere. Yeah, they just sailed over the Pacific to Hiva-Oa, and so now they're sailing around in French Polynesia. And the SV Delos people are in Madagascar, and are actually they're sailing their way over to Madagascar right now. Right now they're in this little tiny island out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. This really little tiny island out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm in Worcester. Let's do lunch. You guys get together and have lunch. I can't join you from Alaska, but what is a scuba diver doing all the way up here in Alaska? Texaban, that's a good question. I moved up here because my daughter who was into dog mushing wanted to be up here where she could have better snow to train on. And it's, if you're a dog musher, this is the place to be. So we moved up here for her. She now lives in London, so I'm stuck here wrapping up the property or dealing with the property and trying to figure out what I'm going to do going forward. So, Amy Davis, SV Delos being free people doing what they like. Yeah, they actually are really cool. It's actually it's two brothers. The older brother owns the boat with his girlfriend, who is Swedish or Norwegian, I'm not sure which. Norway, I think she's from. And it's the brother and then his girlfriend, and then they always have other people on board. Really quite entertaining to see what they're doing. And it's really interesting to kind of look and learn about that whole lifestyle. The freedom that they have is just amazing. Once they untie the lines and pull away from a dock, you can go 30 days crossing an ocean and not see anybody else. So you have a lot of downtime, and when you're sailing, you're only consuming the wind, and so you're not leaving any kind of carbon footprint behind you really at all. It is I mean, they actually have a smaller carbon footprint than I do, even up here in my cabin, because I'm in my diesel truck driving around, and it's nothing for me to put $100 a week in fuel into my diesel truck. So I kind of like that idea of that lifestyle. And I would like the idea, if I was sailing, to do conservation stories. Talk about, like, for example, there's a really interesting plastic study going on right now, where people all around the world are taking water samples and putting them into 1 liter bottles. So you would drink this, empty out, wash it out, and then refill this with the salt water, hopefully at depth. So as a scuba diver, I would dive down and fill it up down below, seal it up, and then you mail it back to these people. And they're in New England, and they're doing a study to see how much plastic is in the water nowadays. Obviously, in this case, the water would be in the plastic, but they can sample the water for the parts per million of the plastics floating in it as a way of seeing how much pollution there is. Fight against OCD. Okay. Oh, Beth, that's bad. Your cat, really? With your home place, you have them. You do not want them. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. I think I read that out of session. Which do you like better, Alaska or the lower 48? That's a hard question to answer. You're new to my channel, Texabaman. So I'll tell you that my plan was to sell the property up here in Alaska and go to Ohio, where my sons live, so I could be closer to the family there. Unfortunately, after talking to my ex-wife there, who lives within a mile of both of my sons, neither of them really spend a whole lot of time with her unless they need the kids babysat. And so it kind of made me rethink my idea of moving back there. I'm not going to, I could not find as nice a piece of property in Ohio as I have here. I have 80 acres. Literally, if I head this way behind me, if I head due east behind me, it's 180 miles to the first road. That's how far I am out in the country. So, I think your cat wants to make you cover up with fur. Can I guess? Easy. What are you talking to, Rhonda? Can I guess? Easy. Grandpa, I drive to Cleveland every summer to visit relatives. Are you moving close to there? It would not be Cleveland. No, it would be Lancaster, Ohio. So just a little bit southeast of Columbus, Ohio, which is in the middle of Ohio. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I've given that a lot of serious thought. I think I might pay off the mortgage up here and keep things here, or I might haul all my stuff down and put it back into a storage unit in Montana where the rest of my stuff is. I already have 3 storage units in Montana full of stuff. I might haul my stuff that I have up here down in Montana and put it in storage and sell this place, and just buy the sailboat and go sail for a while. I don't know. It's a real quandary. It really is, because I enjoy having my critters. I like farming. I like raising my animals. I like eating good quality food. But I also enjoy fishing and spear fishing. And when you're a spear fisherman and you scuba dive, you can be highly selective on what you harvest from the ocean. And so when you're sailing across the world's largest refrigerator. I mean, there's tons and tons of fish, as long as you're somewhat selective with which fish you harvest. Okay, Beth, that might be a little TMI, Beth. I drive to Cleveland and summer. Sounds like you have so many options available to you. That's a good place to be. Yes, you're right, T. I do have a lot of options available to me. But the point and the reason why I brought this up is that I really thought it was interesting how, by talking to you folks, by talking to some of the people I've gotten to know on YouTube here, how it's really helped me, go back to the idea of, why should I give up that dream? I can still sail around the world. I would love to sail around the world. It would be a lot of fun. And I would do videos about it. Scuba diving, fishing, visiting foreign countries, sailing, all the different pretty sights, As a realtor, I find it interesting that, I used to sell real estate in Florida and also in New York, and people would pay a real premium for waterfront so they could have a beautiful view of all the pretty sailboats. I could buy the sailboat and be the view. So I don't know. It's interesting. Move to Mexico. It's empty. Yeah, a lot of people have left Mexico because of the problems down there. And in fact, if I bought a sailboat, Woody, that's what I would do. I would start up here in Alaska, sail down the west coast, spend a season in the Sea of Cortez because there's awesome scuba diving there. Then down to the Galapagos, down to Panama on the Galapagos, and over to or Tahiti in that area. Somebody also asked earlier if I would go through the Panama Canal. Yes, I would go through the Panama Canal as opposed to going around the Southern Cape. It's a lot safer. It's more expensive to go through the canal, but it's a lot safer than trying the Southern Ocean. It gets pretty rough down there. Mexico's fixing to pay for a huge wall. Yeah, I don't think they will. There was a girl talk going on. What type of sailboat do you want to get? What type of sailboat? I have a thing for cowls. I've owned two cowls, a 30 and a 31. They're built like a brick poop house. So they're really good and heavy duty boats. But the ones I've had have been too small. I want something larger, something around 40 foot. So I've got the extra space in it. Now they do make a cowl 40. But I'm thinking more of a more modern boat with a sugar scoop design on the stern. That makes it easier to get in and out of the boat, especially for someone who does a lot of scuba diving. So I want to see you spearfishing for halibut. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen up here in Alaska. The water up here is just way too cold. However, there are halibut all the way down as far south as Mexico. Not the great big huge ones like we have up here, but they're on from there. Which ocean would you rather sail on, Pacific, Atlantic, or Gulf? All the above. There's really no preference, The Pacific Ocean has Tahiti and Fiji and all of those wonderful islands and great scuba diving and fishing. The Atlantic has the Caribbean. So it's got some beautiful places to scuba dive. The Gulf of Mexico certainly has a lot of wrecks and a lot of good places, Cozumel and that eastern coast of Mexico and Belize in that area. I'd like to sail all of that. Every single bit of that I would like to sail. Now, I don't want to sail the southern oceans. I don't want to go too far north. I want to stay in the tropics where it's warm. But we'll see from there. Rhonda Carl had said, oh, I think, Kathleen, I think Rhonda stepped out for a minute. I thought I saw her say BRB. Be right back. Carl said they're entertaining immediately following. They're topless on SV Delos. See what I mean? Why do I suddenly feel like spinning a bottle and giggling in a closet? Weird. Oh, are you guys watching some of that already? You weren't supposed to do that until after my live stream is over. Shame on you guys. You're bad people. Yeah, Rhonda's back. Rhonda had to reboot. Had to reload. No doubt buffering. I noticed most of the guys are gone. Home Place Journal. Yeah, I noticed the list of people watching dropped from about 60 to 45 pretty quickly. All the guys are checking out the girls on SV Delos. I got to admit, the idea of sailing around in French Polynesia with a lady with a grass skirt on and that was it. There ain't nothing wrong with that picture, folks. There's just nothing wrong with that picture. So, no, we're faithful to you. You just said topless. Yeah, well, I do have a mostly female fan base. That is true. Oh, Grizz must have gotten out of line. Hey, that's cool, Teresa. This way is still batting 1,000. He's been decked for being out of line. Oh, Home Place, you don't want to see me topless. There are some people I would pay to keep their clothes on, and I'm one of them. My Polaris 570 is doing awesome. You got to buy you 250 and looking to upgrade. You know, Sorrenti, I really like the Polaris 570 for the price point. It was excellent. I'm a great big huge guy. I'm 6'3", 425. It has all the power I could ever want. There's nothing in there that it's lacking at all, and it's the least expensive. You don't need the big Sportsman 800s or any of those really big ones. It's just a waste of money. I think the little Polaris 570, it's not little. It's still a big piece of equipment. I think it's just fine. I mean, I've been dragging logs with it and hauling firewood and stuff. It doesn't lack any power whatsoever. I've not once have I thought to myself I needed a bigger four-wheeler. Okay, let's see where else. You guys are beating up on Grizz. Good, he needs it. Grizz is a good guy. He's a well-meaning guy. He just likes to get everybody PO'd, and that's just fine. Need to change Grandpa's name to Grizz. No, Tex Abman, we already have a Grizz on here, and he is a one-of-a-kind. We're going to leave him off. Mark says, back off. I get the Polaris when Grandpa goes open water. Well, if I'm going to sell and go sailing, the Polaris will come up for sale. I mean, maybe. I don't know. You know, the problem is I really have great property here, and I would like to keep it. But I know if I'm not here, I'll get broke into and everything will get stolen. So that's the rub, you know. That's the rub. So even if I were to put in bring in a heavy steel Connex, you know, a shipping container, and put my stuff in there and lock it up inside there, you know, these clowns would use a welder or whatever and cut into it and steal stuff. So I don't know that that's a logical or practical thing to do. One of the cabins not too far from me, they broke into it and stole a wood stove out of the cabin while the wood stove was still hot. You can imagine that. People went to church, came home from church, the cabin had been emptied, and the wood stove, which they had a fire going in before they left for church, the wood stove was missing. So, hey Carl, the pic profile I have, the mountain you can see in there, I live on the middle one at the top of that mountain. Okay. Teddy bear. Not sure what that means. I lived on top of that mountain. He wants it done so he can keep his batting average. Yes, he does. Chris wanted it to be done. Carl, is your Polaris model EPS? You mean the electric braking? No, it does not have the electric braking system in it, and I would not want that. I've had that in it before. I've also had the power steering assist on them before. My daughter's four-wheeler had that, and I didn't like that either. It didn't help me at all. I can drive mine fine with one hand. With my broken shoulder, I'm doing everything on my four-wheeler with one hand, and it's just fine for that. So, no, I would not worry about having any of the electronic power steering or electric braking. Here's a good question, Kathleen. I don't know. What happened to WeTree? I know WeTree was upset with a lot of people of the Homestead Network, or upset with me because we weren't keeping our conversations clean enough. But we'll have to see. So you don't want to rent it all while you go sailing the oceans. Teresa, I thought about renting it out. I could do that. I could fix up the cabin here a little bit and then rent it out. That is an option. But until the divorce is finalized and I find out exactly how much I'm going to have to pay the ex, I can't really make that decision. So I don't know. Me either. I'll never be topless. Yeah, Teresa, you know, fact is, I'm more comfortable with clothes on. Even when we were down the BVI on a sailing catamaran, you know, I could have gone butt naked, but no, at least have a swimsuit and a t-shirt on, you know. I don't like the idea of someone's naked butt sitting on the seats, and so maybe it's just me. Is it that bad in Alaska? Tex Abaman, no, it's not. It's no worse than any place else, to be honest with you. TSA once stole my blind cable. That sucks, Woody. It's really not that bad. I just happen to have one bad neighbor that lives very close to me that I've been having problems with who is a druggie and he's a criminal. And if you watch some of my videos, you'll see that we just had a big go around with him trespassing on the property. And I just know that, in fact, this spring I found his wallet right out here, not too far in front of my cabin, where apparently he must have snuck onto the property and lost his wallet while he was, checking my place out. And so I gave that to the state troopers, and they returned it to him and had a conversation with him about it. So Gribb says my wife would rip my left testicle off if I went to view other women's chest and save the right one for further punishment. Okay. And Kathleen says, Grizz, if you ain't looking, you're dead. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's face it, folks. Women have certain body parts to attract men. That's how we propagate the species. That's what keeps us going as human beings. So any lady out there that thinks that her husband's not going to check out a naked breast is foolish. Just because I own a Picasso doesn't mean I can't look at a Rembrandt. They're all different, unique, and they're all pleasant to look at. So, all of them, old, young, they all have their attributes. So, anyhow, not the conversation I was expecting to have this evening, but yeah, men are men. You're right, Amy. And the truth be told, Amy, you're going to tell me that if some cute guy walked by the table, you wouldn't check out his butt or his crotch for that matter. In fact, I had to laugh. I just saw this really funny video on YouTube of a guy actually had a secret camera that he had on his pants right in front of his zipper. And he was catching women like on the subway, checking out his groin. The camera was catching the women, checking them out. And so, absolutely, I'm a woman. Yeah, I mean, we're human beings. It's not male or female. It's human beings. It's just something we do. So, Mark says I'm digging a hole. Yeah, I've been in and out of that hole so many times, Mark. It's okay. I have one for you. You've been up the gold mining since you've been up there. No, I'm not much into gold mining. There's a lot of people have gone broke up here gold mining. There is gold, sure enough. There's even gold here on my property, but it costs more to extract it than what it's worth. You can go pan the rivers around here and get a little dust from time to time. But yeah, I'm not going to waste my time gold mining. Yeah, you go, Beth. That's right. If you're secure enough, you don't care if they're looking, right? I look at beautiful women, they are art. That's right, Amy. Even ugly women are art. It doesn't have to be a beautiful woman. It could, women are people. I'm a person watcher. Don't get me wrong. I'm male. I'm heterosexual. I'm not bi or anything like that. But there's good-looking males. There's good-looking females. I don't look at them a male sexually and say, oh, I want to sleep with that guy. But I don't do the same. I don't do the same thing with women. I just appreciate the fact that they're, that they've kept themselves in shape and they look good. There's nothing wrong with that. So, butts have to be tight for me to look. Okay, that's true. Amy and I took enough art classes drawing nudes to have lived in France, Rome, etc. So I tend to appreciate the human body. Sure, of course. Yeah, I like the people watch. I would get dragged around to the malls and stuff like that. I'd find a bench and sit and watch. I just sit there and wait. Like you go shop. I'll just stay here and watch people walk by, and I enjoy doing that. I enjoy that a lot. So, Mark, you keep saying I'm shoveling. I'm not shoveling. I don't have anybody to account for. I don't have a wife who's going to give me a hard time when this is over with. So, Lily doesn't care. I point him out to my husband. He pretends, oh, that's nice. I mean, that's gallant of him to pretend that he doesn't care. I don't like mirrors at department stores. Yeah, right? I don't think anybody's happy with the way they look. Yes, everyone has a story and everyone has beauty to them. Sometimes it's on the surface, sometimes it's down below, but everybody has beauty to them. Woody says, Grizz, I'm in a Speedo. Oh, gosh, let's not talking about the election. Oh, geez, is this a disaster or what, huh? Hey, look, we're already past my hour. We're past my hour for my live stream, so I guess we're in late night now. So I guess we can go into that. But are you guys of the same thing that I'm at, that I think we should get rid of both of these characters and find somebody else? I know some people are voting for Gary Johnson. I watched him do some interviews this past week. I can't get behind him either, which is surprising for me. The guy's been trying to get elected on a pro-drug standpoint, but he really doesn't seem like he has much position or anything else. Kathleen says, no, I don't want to go. Hey, it's almost over, right? What do we have? Like, we're down in the teens now, 17, 18 days. Aren't we getting pretty close? Grizz has a wife restraining order against her over cast iron skillet. I can believe that. American Liberty Fighters going to bed. Okay, buddy, you take care. We will see you later. Gonna go watch my wife. Yeah, right. You're going over to watch SV Delos. I know you. Hillary has boobs, really? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny. No, I mean, they're just a disaster. Did any of you guys catch the Saturday Night Live version of the debate? I thought that was pretty funny. Grizz says his wife has a black belt in cast iron. Yep, good deal. We are not going to war. Please believe that. Yeah, I don't think we're going to war. I do not think we're going to. Woody, Obama for 4 more years. Okay, Woody. I prefer the Insomnia Club. Oh, you prefer this Insomnia Club. Okay. You hated the SN. Really, you didn't like the Saturday Night Live skit. I just thought we needed a little comedic relief after dealing with the reality of who these people are. All that polyester she wears. Polyester, by the way, adds a lot of plastics to the ocean. Just so you guys know. And fleece. If you guys have fleece clothing, fleece coats, or fleece pants, fleece clothing adds a lot of particulate matter into the ocean. You wash your clothes in water, that all ends up in the ocean. Did you see the dinner that Trump and Hillary? Oh, I did see that, Grizz. That was hysterical. I can't believe Donald Trump had the you know what I'm talking about, to sit up there and talk about Hillary like that when she was only 3 feet away, sitting right next to the bishop, right? Isn't that who she was sitting next to, was a bishop? I noticed that they put the bishop between the two of them. He was like the wall between the two to separate the candidates. Yes, cojones. Yes, very good. Yeah, I thought that Al Smith dinner was absolutely hysterical. Unbelievable. And, I have to say this for her. Hillary took it fairly well. She did a real good job of dealing with it, and she did a really good job of returning the favor to him a little bit, although she kept it a little bit too much on the serious side, whereas Donald was really more in line with what the Smith, that dinner was all about. So polyester hides her cankles. Maybe Al Smith dinner is always supposed to be funny. Trump was not funny. I thought Trump was hysterical. Yeah, but okay, it wasn't a comedy thing. It was his ballsness of being up there and saying what he did was what was funny. Yeah, I agree, Amy. Yeah, Mayor Giuliani was sitting right there. He was not at all amused with her comments. Not at all. Yep. Alec Baldwin was great as Trump. Trump and take it and dish it out. Hey, Trump has been a target for so many things over his entire life. It's just unbelievable. Oh, Beth, I don't know about that. I've seen some of those Al Smith dinners before where they've been pretty much a one-sided attack. A little known fact, my mother actually was a secretary for Nelson Rockefeller, and she was the president of the Republican Club for Nassau County, New York, when I grew up as a young child. And we would go to some of those dinners, like the Al Smith dinner, and they were pretty rough. They were pretty rough. We kids weren't allowed in the room. Trump doesn't know how to make fun of himself. Okay, well, I think he does, but okay. I think it's his hobby being attacked and shrugging his shoulders. Yeah, he's been hit by so many stuff. It just Trump played bozo on TV, National Enquirer. Yes, that's right. Nelson Rockefeller Illuminati. Yeah, my mother was his personal secretary for a few years. Got to go to bed. I'm a bus driver. Oh, gosh, yes, Annette, get some sleep. Good night, Annette. Thank you for visiting with us. We'll see you next Sunday. We will be here. Yes, Beth, I do agree with that. Trump is his own worst enemy. You know, when he was doing the debates, I just kept looking at him saying, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut, let her finish, be polite. But I do think he is the lesser of two evils. I mean, I'm supporting Donald because I think he's the lesser of two evils. I really think Hillary, the whole Benghazi thing for me, lost it with Hillary. And then to have her go ahead and allow all those emails to be deleted after she got a court order for them, that's just wrong. Now, she can blame somebody else, a clerk or whatever, like she's doing, but just like Benghazi, ultimately it's her responsibility. She's got to take responsibility for something. We're all screaming at him to shut up, right? Oh, I'm thirsty tonight. A lot of water. A lot of water. Trump is not a career politician who is smooth-talking liar. He's a self-made man, has a financial acumen we need to get our economy running again. Well, he certainly knows business. And he's going to shake up Washington, D.C. to a great degree, and I think that's a really good thing that we need to have done. Now, Teresa, you can't use some of that language. That's why your comment was blocked by the channel blacklist. You're going to have to put yourself in a timeout. Importing knowledge is thirsty business. Yeah, I guess so. You know, if I was smart, I would fill this up with gin or vodka and make an evening out of it, but no, just water. Yeah, the second debate he really had. I think all the debates were kind of interesting, but there you go. That's more PC. He wants to drain the swamp. We have always said get rid of the dust collectors. Okay, swamp. He wants to drain the swamp. I'm not sure what that means. Pete, you do that. He wants to drain the swamp. We've always said get rid of the dust collectors. He wants to drain the swamp. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Amy. What swamp? Oh, the House and Senate, maybe. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yep, I get it. Yeah, Washington, D.C. is a swamp. It's just a corruption. There you go. It's just a disaster. We need to clean house. We need to boot all of them. Up here in Alaska, we have this woman running for senator. She was a senator already, and she's trying to run again. And she's one of the women that bailed on Trump, who pulled her support from Trump. She's a Republican, so I'm not voting for her. Nope. And I'm not always a straight down the board, Republican voter. I do tend to lean that way, but I'm not going to vote for her. I'm just not going to vote in that race because I can't vote against her, but I'm not going to vote for her. Jobs, deport Barack back to Kenya. There you go. Let's just hire a temp president from Manpower. There you go, Woody. Hey, we couldn't be any worse, right? Couldn't be any worse. I don't know why we can't, in the 100 million people or whatever we have in this country, the 300 million people that we have in the United States, I can't believe that these two are the two best choices that we have. It's just unbelievable. Well, anyhow, guys, look, it's getting kind of late. It's not nearly as late for me as it is for some of you guys, but was it 11:30 at night for some of you guys on the East Coast? Yeah, Sorrenti, and it's not really a smile. It's more of a more of a plastic face that she puts on, doesn't it? It's just not. I don't know. She doesn't look human when she does that. Ohio lost. Oh, home place I know. Ohio State lost. To Penn State of all people. Of all people, to Penn State. I couldn't believe that they lost to Penn State. Unbelievable. They had a great winning record, track going there, and then they lost. So, yeah, guys, let's go ahead and call it a night. It's getting late, and I got some stuff I have to get to, and Miss Lily is getting kind of anxious here. She's making noise in her crate. Hold on a minute. Lily, come here. Lily, come here. Come here. Come here. Say hello to everybody. Everybody, say hello. Look, 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 look. You got it. No, you got to look this way. Look that way. Say hello to everybody. Hello. Anyhow, Miss Lily, what are you doing? You don't need those. You don't need those. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need those. All right, get down. Get down. Whoop, there goes the table. Get down. Here. Go in your crate and eat that. There we go. Anyhow, I thought you guys might get a kick at seeing Miss Lily. So, and on that note, we're going to call it a night, guys. Let's go ahead and call it a night, and we will catch you guys tomorrow or later, anyhow, next Sunday anyway. And if you have any questions or anything, get onto the chat down below, and after this is posted, and put your chat stuff up, and we'll just go from there and see how things go. So, good night, everybody. I really appreciate you guys being on board and watching us here live from Alaska. We'll see you guys next Sunday, and hope you guys all have a really enjoyable week. You guys take care now. Bye.